it's really difficult for people to get together face to face to get to know something about the people you're doing business with. So here it goes for me, and this is a 3-part series, part about my general personal life, then my military career, and then finally part 3 about my education and entrepreneurial experiences. This is the military piece. 49 years, with almost 20 years being part-time. I had no connection with the military growing up, other than as a townie, occasionally witnessing Coast Guard boot camp recruits marching through the small town of Cape May. I had taken a semester off to make a few bucks when I got my 1A draft notice, which means you're next. Rather than heading off to Vietnam, where some of my high school friends had already died, I signed with the Navy with promises of lots of educational opportunities. I was indeed well schooled. Electricity, electronics, interior communication, and nuclear power operations. After that initial schooling, I was assigned to my first ship, USS Nimitz, AS-17 in San Diego. From there, I went to nuclear power school in Vallejo, California. And then the Navy decided to send me to college, NC State, for a computer science degree. Nuke power, computer science. Honestly, I had never heard of either. Lucky for me that computers were about to be taking over the whole technology and engineering forever. My first assignment as an officer was to the shipyard where the aircraft carrier Nimitz was being built in the early 70s. That's engineering at a scale that few people witness. Longer than the Empire State Building is tall, a flight deck over 3.5 acres, holding more than 1,000 combat aircraft with room for more than 5,000 crew and supplies for the ship, the people, and the fuel for the jets. I earned special recognition as the first officer to qualify as officer of the deck, responsible for the safety of the ship when the senior officers were asleep for the night. I thought that was a little crazy myself, being a young officer, but there's nothing like being on the bridge of an aircraft carrier in the middle of a windless, moonlit night somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea, operating on what would look like a sheet of black glass. During my 4 years on Nimitz, we tested our systems in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, visited ports throughout the Med and the North Atlantic. Certainly was an adventure. From there, I worked for a year in software tests before Navy sent me back to college for a master's, this time in electronic engineering digital systems. Who could turn down an opportunity for a few years in Monterey? Of course, being the only officer in the Navy with a BS in computer science and a master's in electronic or computer hardware meant I'd get assigned to Washington, D.C., where the commands that purchased those things was located. Working for 2-star and 3-star admirals who know nothing about computers was a great job. I'd tell them what questions to ask, explain what the answers meant, and it was great fun. In the course of that assignment, though, I came to the conclusion that I really didn't want to stay on active duty in pursuit of those promotions and those jobs. So I resigned my active commission, took a reserve commission. That reserve career was mostly in command in those same places where I worked on active duty. I managed to get promoted to captain, same as colonel for those of you who are more experienced in Air Force and Army over those 20 years. So during my reserve time, I also began entrepreneurial career because the reserve commitment was 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the year. Easy. Just before my uniform career was to end, I was recruited to return to Navy as a civilian GS-15 to help in both reserve management and cybersecurity. My original intent was only to stay for 4 years to qualify for another pension, but I was having so much fun I actually stayed for 16. In the end, I had spent a total of 49 years. 36 uniforms, 16 civilian with a 3-year overlap. People I worked with exemplified the best: courage, honor, commitment, integrity, core values. And folks really did live it every day. There was not a single moment in my uniform time when I had to deal with anyone who was not completely honest in every way. It's hard to explain just how great it is to work in an environment when your shipmates are well-educated, well-trained, committed to excellence, and respectful of everyone, no matter the gender, religion, race, country of origin, etc. It's really a superb lifetime adventure I had with Navy. New section.